Beijing and Moscow say trade between their countries is growing, along with a closer political alliance. The port where Russian goods cross the river into the Chinese border city of Heihe seems to have a lot of activity.
I'm carrying soybeans, wheat and barley, all from Russia, and it's busier than before.
The truck drivers tell us they're getting plenty of work.
I'm transporting sand and coal from Russia. Others are moving containers with food.
Chinese tourists come here for a peek into neighbouring Blagoveshchensk, where Russian Coast Guard officers exercise in the autumn sun. You can see how close we are to Russia here. You could swim across that river to the blocks of flats where Russian people live. And so you would think this would be the obvious place to build trade relations between the two countries. And yet, when you speak to business people on this side of the border, many are saying that actually it hasn't been that great. Large shopping centres here have either closed or never opened because of a lack of customers. Former stallholders, now operating out of their cars, say trade has been flat for years, but even worse recently.
After COVID, the borders haven't been open for long. There aren't enough Russians coming across. They are poor and they are at war.
A woman shows us her hats, which once sold very well.
The fur is from Russia, but they're made in China.
She says she used to have many Chinese and Russian customers.
Just take a look at the streets. Empty. In the past, they were filled with potential buyers. You cannot compare now to the past.
Elsewhere, the provincial capital Harbin was a century ago dominated by Russian residents and Russian culture. And local tourists visiting here seem well disposed to the man in charge of the Kremlin these days.
Putin has iron fists. He's tough.
Do you know why he's at war with Ukraine, I ask?
Ordinary people don't comment on such things.
Back near the border, as part of its so-called no-limits partnership, Beijing is helping out an isolated Moscow by piping in more Russian natural gas. But economic links still have a long way to go for China's trade with Russia to match what it has with many other countries. Stephen McDonald, BBC News, Heihe.